Shari Jackson reporting for the InfoWars Nightly News. Headline, Penetta, U.S. will attack Iran if it decides to build nuke. We have the forces in place to be able to not only defend ourselves, but to do what we have to do to try to stop them from developing nuclear weapons, said Penetta. Despite evidence to the contrary, the United States and Israel claim they believe the Islamic Republic is working toward building a nuclear weapon. They say these criminals who have hijacked our country, they say that they're building a nuclear weapon, so they must be, just like Bush with the yellow cake. He says, hey, they're over there in Iraq baking more yellow cake than Betty Crocker, so it must be true. But it reminded me of a Kurt Nimmo article that he posted earlier this year. Headline, the U.S. and Israel set stage for false flag and Iran attack. Events over the last several days revealed that the United States and Israel plan to conduct a false flag terror event to be blamed on Iran. The event will likely occur within the next 6 months and will result in an attack on Iran prior to the November election. We keep hearing all this talk about how Obama needs a false flag to reconnect with the people. This could very well be it. You know, lately they've been targeting, returning veterans and just real patriots, but they could blame something on Iran. So we'll definitely stay tuned to this. This is a very serious situation. We hope they don't attack Iran, but hey, in desperate times, they do what they have to do. So stay tuned to the InfoWars Nightly News for more on the story as it develops. Next story. Will humanity survive the singularity? This by our very own Alex Jones and Paul Joseph Watson. As the elite steers technological progress towards the singularity, man merging with machine, the majority of humans will cease to have a purpose or even be able to function in a brave new world run by a scientific dictatorship. Continuing, the advancement of technology is not being used to empower humanity, but to enslave humanity. This process is being overseen by a technocracy that simultaneously expresses its desire to see the human population reduced in large numbers. The elite have been obsessed with eugenics and its modern-day incarnation, population control, for well over 100 years. And that goal of global population reduction is still in full force today. Now, one of the big questions we get here on the InfoWars Nightly News is, who are they? Who are the elite? Who are these puppet masters who are manipulating the world? And the article actually goes on to tell you who they are. So here's the answer to your question. In the third world, Turner has contributed, that's Ted Turner that is, has contributed literally billions to population reduction, namely through the United Nations programs, leading the way for the likes of Bill and Melinda Gates and Warren Buffett. And as a fun fact, Gates' father was a leading board member of Planned Parenthood and a top eugenicist. So don't take our word for it. You say we just make stuff up. So take a look at this video of Bill Gates and Ted Turner expressing their love for population control and reduction. Here's the video.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, health care, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Mr. Turner, I was wondering if you think it's a good idea to reduce 90% of the population because we are being overpopulated by a lot of... 90%. 80? Prince Philip said 80, sir. I go with 85.
I think 2 billion is about right.
Right, me too. Thank you.
So there you go, two criminals who want to kill you and your family, and don't kid yourself by thinking you're going to be one of the few people left in their new utopia. Our last story, this one from Al Jazeera. Sweden aims to be a cashless society. Only 3% of all financial transactions in the country are made using cash these days. Even public transport tickets can now be prepaid using mobile phone technology. And most people use similar services to pay for everything from groceries to major purchases. So there you go. I myself try to use my credit cards and debit cards the least I can because they track you. This is why you get all this stupid stuff in the mail, because they see where you shop, and then they send you all these ads. And as far as being cashless, I actually had experience not too long ago with a vending machine that only took credit cards. And I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. I had plenty of change and small bills in my pocket to pay the vending machine, but it only took credit cards. So I didn't want to die of thirst, so I had to succumb to the beast got me that day. But I'm going to do my best to bite it back the best I can. And that brings us to our quote of the day. This one from Big George W. We must speak the truth about terror. Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories concerning the attacks of September the 11th. malicious lies that attempt to shift the blame away from the terrorists themselves, away from the guilty, to inflame ethnic hatred is to advance the cause of terror. And that from the Big W himself. And Mr. Bush, let me assure you that we are not trying to create any conspiracy theory. We are just trying to point in the right direction of the people who ordered the stand down of NORAD and people who claim that buildings can fall straight down into their own footprint and all these other shenanigans that buildings, that planes can hit buildings and the wings disintegrate and there's no skid marks on the lawn. Those are the people we're trying to point out. So excuse us for our, quote, conspiracy theories. We think you have a much better conspiracy theory than we could ever come up with. And that brings us to our break. We'll be right back with Alex Jones as he goes more in depth on the 9/11 reports. So stay tuned for that. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, check us out